Hello everyone, Triggin here, and welcome to City of Heroes. Well, not really. But if you like this video, please remember to tickle that thumbs up button for me. Share and favorite as you see fit. And please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. So, we are actually running the City of Heroes client. But we are connecting via a little third-party program to a chat service. The chat service and the little program, the third-party program, were set up by some fans of City of Heroes to allow people to enjoy exploring their old game and chatting with their old friends in-game. And so you can actually log in and create a character, and here I tried to recreate Lance here from our Champions Online game. You see, it's interesting. It's interesting the way they did the game. It just seems like the characters are bigger, and that's what I disliked about. In fact, a lot of the newer MMOs, it seems like the characters are so tiny. Whereas with City of Heroes, your character was big on your screen, and yeah, you can make them look smaller by backing off, but they still just look bigger. I don't know what the difference is there. But anyways, to the subject matter at hand. I'd done a video back on November 30th that was published on December 1st for the 4th anniversary of the game's closing. And it's turned out to be one of my most popular videos. So I thought maybe people would enjoy seeing the game again. So I thought what we'd do is sort of go down memory lane as, you know, how we would have played the game back when well, more or less back when I started the game, which I think would have been in 2006. But this at that time was the tutorial. I think there was a different tutorial when the game launched, and in the last year or two there was a new tutorial again when they did some changes. But this is my favorite. This is the one I started with. You know how it is. It's always your favorite. Of course, that wasn't there. This is an Ouroboros portal. Let's see if I get my... No, I don't want fly on. I don't want super speed. I just want sprint. Where is it? There it is. There we go. I think this is an Ouroboros portal. It's not functional. After they added Ouroboros. Wow, that run is really freaky. Lance is going to be very upset. So anyways, yeah, you would start off here. You would enter the game right here in front of this police officer and talk to them. And they would send you down to... And you would definitely be on foot, because you didn't get travel powers that time until, I think, level... you could get, like, the first tier of travel powers earlier on. I can't remember. After the tutorial. But those weren't, like, true travel powers. They were just the entry into the travel power tier you wanted. But it was level 14, I think, or around there, where you actually got your first real travel power. So throughout the game there are these medical centers. Whoa, Lance, spot him, in my face. Okay, back up. So throughout the game there are these medical centers here. This is the Rivera Medical Center. If you get defeated in game, you would end up waking up in one of the medical centers, or in some cases you would end up waking in a few particular zones. You'd end up waking in a special location. It was interesting if you were in a mission, then you had to get back to the mission from the medical center. But yeah, you'd come here after talking to the officer, and you talk to this guy, and you get some information off from this. It was already a little dated, I think, by the time I started playing. The game had only been out for 2 years. But then you'd pick up your next mission, and you'd come on down here. And we've got, yeah, we've got all 4 of the travel powers available to us here. I'll show you those later. Well, let's see. Now, you go past this. Yeah, you come down here. Remember, if you talk to this officer here first, or talk to the scientist, and then you come back and talk to this guy, and there would be some Rikti. Now, the Kular are the aliens and champions. The Rikti were the aliens in City of Heroes. But there'd be the Rikti drones here, and you'd be able to practice your first two powers that you'd chosen. You'd be able to practice them out there and get a feel for how to actually fight in the game. They didn't actually shoot back. You could just sit and shoot them all day. A bit like the training room in Champions, except the dummies, the drones didn't take damage the way the dummies do in the training room. So then you'd get a mission to continue on down. I don't remember. I think maybe first mission was to do some stuff here. You'd be fighting some of the, what were they called? Infected or whatever? But you come in here and fight them. The City of Heroes has a lot of ruined area. Basically, I think that the background, I was never much for reading the lore and stuff, but the background was the city had been attacked by the Richti. There's actually a crashed Richti ship in one of the zones, which was a heavy zone for high-level players, high-level characters. You do raids on the Richti mothership. And then you'd move on down here. Slowly. Actually, not too bad. Bad thing was that having sprint on did eat up endurance. And up some of your power for running your powers. Then you come down here and there was more little information gathering, teach you a little bit more about the game. And then another mission coming in here, dealing with the infected. I don't remember what the infected were from, what they were infected by. But then you finally pick up your last mission of the tutorial, and you come down here and you talk to Coyote, right down here. And then you'd get into what was really the core, I think, of City of Heroes game, at least at the time I started, was the door missions. You know, it would randomly assign you to some door. And you would just go to that door, you click on it, and you go in. Oh, I can't go in. That's new. This door is remarkably realistic considering that you saw that pesky Roadrunner painted just moments ago. Somebody's been playing. Oh, dear. But yeah, then you would go into one of the mission maps. And let's see if I can find the map. Meep menu? No, map menu. So let's see. Other. Does this give us mission menus? Or mission maps? Let's give us the city maps. Do we not have access to mission maps here? I thought we did. But it could be that I just can't find them. Echoes. Aragon City. Oh, that's nice. They tell you where you are. You are here. Yeah, I swear they had access to the mission maps before. Maybe if you actually know the map you want to go to, the name of it, you can jump straight to it with command, but I don't remember any of that, so we'll skip that for now. I will show that to you in a later date. But yeah, you'd go into a map, and you complete that mission. Then after completing that mission, you come back here to Coyote and turn in the mission. And then you get a choice to go to Galaxy City or Atlas Park. And let's put that back up. Usually, most people went to Atlas Park, I think. At least Atlas Park was a lot more crowded than Galaxy City. As here you can see it's the logo for Paragon Chat for the service we're using. I always found the game fun, even starting out in the found the game really addictive too. Especially if you're into role playing, you know, really getting in and playing your character. You know, the way I play Lance when we do Champions. But yeah, you would come in here. Here you are in Atlas Park. Some cool music playing. There's the statue of the hero Atlas right there. Or I forgot it. You can go into first person. See, there's another player right up there. And you'd come here and talk to Ms. Liberty. It's like second or third generation Ms. Liberty or something. I don't remember. And you'd be able to level up here. She's a trainer. You'd be able to level up. You would gain 1 level during the tutorial, or at the end of the tutorial. And then you'd go and talk to your specific contact. Now, every origin had its own contact. Now, this guy over here, he was a contact for, I think, for Peacebringers. I don't remember if he was. I don't think he was a contact for Warshades. Maybe he was. They were the sort of the epic archetypes you could get once you'd had your first level 50 character. Then you'd come up into City Hall. Now, this has changed a lot since I started playing. They did a big graphical update on the whole zone a couple of years before it shut down. It looks a lot nicer. You'll see when we get into some of the other zones the difference in the graphic quality of the architecture. But then you come into City Hall if you were not a Peacebringer or a Warshade. I think the Warshade contact was over on the other side. Now in here you'd have your mission, your first mission contacts. You could also come over here to start a super group. Your City of Heroes version of a guild. And then depending on the origin you chose for your character, whether it was magic or technology or mutation or science or just a normal human being, you would get a different mission chain to start off with. Then let's see, Lance here was tech, so he would have come in here, talked to one of these contacts in here. Now this also was the gateway for one of the PvP areas. And this map here would show you the current state of the PvP battle. Right now it's showing the heroes are winning everything! There would be areas that would be red that would mean that the villains were winning some of it. And here you've got the gateway back here to take you into that. I wonder if it actually works. I don't want to go in there. We just earned a badge. Oh, wait a minute. We earned a badge. Ah! Last I knew, they did not have badge collection working. Apparently, they figured out how to get it working. Look at that. Very cool. Okay. But yeah, there are different places around the map where you can gain badges. You can gain badges for various things, but there are exploration badges you can get just by finding the places where those badges are. Isn't there one right here somewhere? I thought there was. Yeah, right here. Maybe I already gained it, wasn't paying attention. I was talking. So, I don't remember what the tech guys had as their first mission. I played Magic a lot back then. So, my first missions would be to go out and take on the Hellions. And there are no NPCs in the maps. Well, obviously there's some, but like no mission NPCs. There's no combat you can get involved in or anything like that. But I remember generally coming over this way, and here let's... How did I get the wrong thing there? There. Let's get our fly power on here. Woohoo! I put rocket boots on Lance here. They look pretty cool. They're great for techie characters. Yeah, technology characters. But yeah, I remember coming along here and fighting Hellions along the street here and helping citizens out. And then eventually you'd get a mission to go in to do one of the door missions. And then finally, after fighting through all of that, you would... Now, again, I'm talking about when I started. You would complete the missions here. And it didn't really take too long, but you'd complete the missions here in Atlas Park. You'd have some more levels under your belt. I don't remember how many. You'd have some more levels under your belt. You might be level 8 maybe or something like that. And you'd finally get a mission to go into the Hollows, which was not in the original game. It came out, I don't know, a couple updates later or something. The original game, I guess you would go to Perez next, but I went to the Hollows. And then later on it changed again, but you know how that is. Things change. Now I have some fond love-hate memories of the Hollows. I enjoyed the Hollows missions. I really did. I like the Frostfire mission especially. And visually, this has changed a bit too, though not nearly as much as Atlas Park. But yeah, you come in here, I think it's this cop here you'd talk to. And inevitably, now, you didn't have travel powers yet, so I'm going to turn my fly off here. You didn't have travel powers yet. In this area would be littered with huge crowds of outcasts, which were sort of superpowered gang, and then trolls. The trolls were addicted to some drug called Superdine, which I think was sort of like whatever that drug is that Bane has in the Batman series. But it would turn them into, you know, big green monster sort of guys. I mean, so most of them were big and tough, and there would be huge crowds of them, and you'd be running along here trying to survive as you got to your mission. And then, you know, the day would come when finally somebody got their first travel power and went for teleport, and you'd have what was it, recall friend or recall teammate or whatever. But then the only person who had to get to the mission door was that person with the recall power, because they'd get there and then they could teleport everyone else to the mission door. So all they had to do is get into the zone and teleport in. That'd be great, especially if you got killed, either in the mission or on the street. Then the person who had recall, all you'd have to do is step in. And when I started, there was no res point here in the Hollows. You actually had to go all the way back to the hospital in Atlas Park and then come all the way back into the Hollows. And that was such a pain every time you got killed. And then, of course, the team is short. Now, fortunately, the teams in City of Heroes weren't like most games these days. You could have teams of up to 8 people. So if you had a full-size team, it wasn't too bad. But, you know, if you had a smaller team, you know, that could be a serious loss in firepower. You might have to stop and wait for that person to somehow make it back to the mission. But then eventually you would get your travel power. Let's turn off flight and we'll do super speed. There we go. So you get your travel power, and then you could get through, especially if you had fly or teleport, either one. You could get to the mission pretty good. And you'd spend quite a long time in here doing missions here before you would level up enough to move to the next area, which I think when I started playing it might have been, was it King's Row? I don't remember. Might have been King's Row. Let's just jump straight to King's Row. Later on, when they introduced the radio missions, that's where you had a police band radio and you could pick up radio missions, then a lot of people would just skip the Hollows, because Hollows was a pain in the rear, and just go straight to King's Row. If I can find it. Where is King's Row? Victoria, fault line, blah, 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 King's Row. There it is. I had a couple of characters who, in their backstory, King's Row was where they grew up. So you can see this is a lot more downbeat area than Atlas Park. A lot more industrial. A lot of brownstone houses here. You'd be fighting the Skulls, just a street gang. They had to have had some sort of superpowers. I don't remember what. But then the Clockwork, and the Clockwork were a pain. They were like mostly these little clockwork robots, but sometimes, and you'd run into spots like this. The only way to get up is to use these stupid stairs, which was better than nothing, of course. But man, there we go. So you come up here. Oh, and the Lost, which I don't remember what the deal was with the Lost. They were somehow tied in with a Richter. Oh, and that music is loud. But yeah, they were fairly tough too. I remember getting my butt kicked by the Lost. There'd be usually this little trio right here with one guy standing on a box talking, you know, making some speech or something. And there'd be some others here too. And then back behind these factories over here. Let's go to Super Jump. Woo! Yeah. back behind these factories here, there'd be quite a lot of them, and there'd be clockwork. And you'd have missions back here. You'd be going in these doors back here. But of course, you had to fight the guys in the street, just like we do in Champions, only there was a lot more focus on the door missions in City of Heroes than on Champions. Champions has a lot more stuff to set in the street, which I don't find as fun. I don't find that the Champion stuff just... It didn't have this. It does not have the same flavor as the City of Heroes stuff. City of Heroes stuff was just a lot more interesting. It seemed to have a lot more depth to it. When you had the radio mission, of course, you would come over here very slowly. Maybe if I use my super jump, it'd go faster. There we go. And you'd get a contact here talking to one of the police officers. We can actually go in this police station. I can actually click on the door successfully. You'd get contact here. After doing so many radio missions, you'd get a bank heist mission where there'd be a bank heist, and you'd be called in to stop the bank heist. Now, the funny thing is this is after City of Villains came out, and actually that had started on City of Villains. And I don't remember, it'd be so many of the missions you got on City of Villains, and after successfully completing those, you'd be able to rob a bank. Which actually, I have to say, I think robbing the bank was more fun than stopping the bank heist. But it was interesting because I wonder if there's a... Turn it off the door. I wonder if there's a map for the bank heist. I might, instead of doing this, there's another program, an earlier, basically sort of an earlier version of this called Icon, that allows you to run around and explore in City of Heroes, but does not link to the chat program. But I know in that we can access the other maps, although I don't know if it has the built-in map. I might still need to remember what the commands are. But you would hit this to go into the bank mission. Everybody'd pile into the back of the Special Tactics Division van, and then you'd end up on the streets. Again, I believe it'd just be right here in Kings Row. It goes whatever zone you were in. But it'd be a mission map. You would be in an instanced mission map for just your team. So no competing with people to get the mission goals. No having people kill steal or anything like that. And you'd have to stop the bank robber. So you'd work your way to the bank. And once you got in the bank, you'd be working your way through bad guys, and then the bank robber would be there, and you'd be trying to stop the bank robber. And they're always really tough and fast, but they keep running. The bank robber keeps running, and they're running to a pickup point, and you've got to chase them down and stop them before they get to that pickup point. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Well, I think that's it for today. We have explored the beginnings of what would have been our career on City of Heroes, and taking a little trip down memory lane. If you like the video, tickle that thumbs up button for me. Let me know down in the comments if you've got memories of City of Heroes. Let me know. There are several projects out there hoping to revive what City of Heroes was. Even though NCSoft has refused so far to sell or revive the franchise themselves. But there's City of Titans, Valiance Online, Heroes and Villains, and now Ship of Heroes. All games hoping to recapture the spirit of City of Heroes with a new game. And I think Vanguard... or Valiance, I'm sorry, not Vanguard, Valiance Online, they were actually already working on a game when City of Heroes shut down, so they switched from their original plans to doing Valiance Online. And I think they're getting ready to go into beta testing soon. I was hoping to get access to the beta test, but I have not heard anything about that. I may have to hit them up on that again, because I'd love to do a video series on that. It's looking really good from what I've seen. I explored around some in the early pre-alpha stages, when the game still had a long ways to go. But I just kept having trouble every time I tried to get into the alpha after that. Just bad luck. I tried to log in when they were doing an update, and it wasn't available. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if people like this video, I'll keep doing them. We'll continue on trying to recreate the career path we would have had as a hero in City of Heroes. See you in the next video.